What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So in this video, we are going to be talking about a scathing report that has come out from Euromed Monitor about prisons in Israel and the treatment of Palestinians. It is revolting. It is dark, evil. I mean, just disgusting actions that are being taken against Palestinians in the prison systems. It is I mean, buckle up. And go in. First off, right off the bat, I wanted to say, like, this has some disturbing information in it. Okay. So if you're warned, all right. Just wanted to give the disclaimer that this has some heavy content. So thank you very much for joining me here on ClearTalk. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you'd like to check out videos from the rest of the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all that good stuff to get more videos in front of more people. Free for you, helps out the channel tremendously. If you'd like to check out videos from my other channels, JMDPLAY, puzzling there. If you like what you see there, consider subscribing to those as well. Not quite such serious information over there, a little bit more playful. But here, especially today in this video, we're getting pretty serious. So again, free for you, helps out those channels tremendously. If you'd like to go further, Patreon there. If you'd like $2 a month, you can support any of the channels that you would like to help grow those channels, to help grow Patreon, to help grow JMD Nation, and contribute to that growth how you would like to. That'd be amazing. Any contribution support you give is very much appreciated, and I thank you very, very much. It would help keep all of this going, okay? And I desperately need that assistance. So thank you very much for joining me. If you are returning, you're freaking amazing. You are amazing. Welcome back. Keep coming back because you're what makes JMD Nation. Okay, so all right, all that out of the way. Let's get to the seriousness. Right off the bat, I want to show you a video that's going to come out, basically summarize it up, and then we're going to go into the report. And I'll go over some of the details that was in the report. It is a massive report, so if you want to go check it out yourself to go deeper into it, you can. We're going to kind of just summarize and hit some main things, but it's even that in itself is enough to just it's wild. So swap over here. We're going to check out this video here, and again. Disturbing information. So if you're a child, maybe you probably shouldn't watch this. I don't know. But it is pretty rough. I'm gonna start over. This for those, it might be, I don't know, for some of my might be watching that. I don't know. I'm kind of just read it out, I guess. Rape and sexual violence inside Israeli prisons. Okay, rape by soldiers, dogs, and sharp objects. New testimonies documented in Euromed humanitarian report on systematic sexual violence against Palestinian detainees from Gaza in Israeli prisons. A large number of released detainees described being raped by Israeli soldiers while being filmed and in the presence of security personnel during the assaults. Several released male detainees told Euromed monitors that soldiers raped them anally. Okay, again, I said this was disturbing stuff. Or used sticks and artificial phalluses to assault them. In other cases, trained dogs were used to carry out the acts. A soldier raped me. I felt severe pain in my anus and screamed, but every time I screamed, I was beaten. The soldier left after ejaculating inside me. Later, they united me, untied me. Sorry, united me, untied me, and brought a dog, which also raped me. The report documents and targeting of genitals and parts of systematic. The targeting of genitals is part of systematic policy aimed at deliberate humiliation and harming victims' reproductive capacity. I mean, so literally, so they can't reproduce anymore. That's just. This is through squeezing testicles, electrocution, kicking, and the use of clamps and weights attached to the genitals. When I answered questions with "I don't know," the interrogator pressed hard on my testicles and attempted to insert an object into my penis. I experienced intense pain. On one occasion, when he pressed in my testicles, I lost consciousness. When I regained consciousness, I found myself in a hospital handcuffed. I later learned that my testicles had been removed. The report documents dozens of cases of rape and sexual assault against male and female detainees arrested from the Gaza Strip since September-October 2023, while the actual number of victims of sexual violence is believed to be higher. We knew there were dozens of cases of rape and sexual assault, but in a conservative society, it is extremely difficult for someone to come forward and say they were raped. Despite the difficulties, we managed to reach some cases, but most were male because the context of sexual assault against women in Palestine society carries greater and more complex consequences. Therefore, it is extremely difficult for a woman to say she was assaulted. All right. So that's the video. Again, crazy information just within that 2.5 minutes of video. All right. This is the actual report from Euromed Monitor. Another genocide behind walls. That is what this is being considered and called. Okay. Where they're literally trying to, the amount of violence, sexual violence, rape, genital damage, trying to either psychologically mess them up to the point that they even potentially might just kill themselves, or preventing them the spread of them being able to reproduce. And so basically trying to eliminate and eradicate in every kind of way a civilization, Palestinians, one way or another, whether it's through bombing, shooting, killing, or within the walls of the prisons, raping, just tormenting them to the point that they just want to die and kill themselves, or literally disfigurement and making them incapable of reproducing so that they don't, quote unquote, have to worry about them in the future. Like it is absolutely disgusting. Sexual violence in Israeli prisons and detention centers and engineered impunity. All right. So again, this is a very, very long report. It has an executive summary from the executive, like the main guy of your, I guess, or executive of Euromed Monitor, and then it goes into the actual report, introduction, methodology and scope, concepts and terminology. First, the architecture of repression, the detention environment and policies of absolute isolation, and it has that broken down into a couple of categories there. Second, crime breakdown, systematic sexual violence and physical torture. breaking those into subcategories. You have testimonies, a whole slew of testimonies that have been given. All right. And then collusion in state institutions, medical and judicial complicity in creating impunity. So this is systematically been established to be acceptable or to be protected and defended. Cases just being thrown out, or or being like lessened in like indictments or whatever, or in charges. Fourth, effects of crime, systematic destruction of the body and identity. And that breaks down also. I mean, this is a very long legal adaptation and scope of criminal responsibility, recommendations and urgent messages. I mean, this is a massive, and then they cite all their sources and stuff. Again, this is a massive report. It would take forever for me to read this out and for us to go through if we actually did it that way. So what I did, I'm going ahead and letting you know what I did is I allowed Copilot to give me a summary. Okay, we have a scripted down summary of this page of this whole entire article. I'm gonna go through that, and then we have it. I also had it to break out like key testimonies, and we'll go through some of those testimonies. So, first, sexual violence is a systematic tool of torture. We before I even get into that, I mean, we know that from last year, I think it was either the beginning of or middle of last year, or maybe even the year before that. It was early. It was before we've learned where there was especially one particular place, and I think it breaks it down in here. That particular place is that you have the most instances of this stuff happening, but it was like an encampment, prison, quote slash whatever area where Palestinians were being taken, and it was a video that was released of prisoners being like rods stuck up, and there was some sort of push judicially to press charges or some sort of action being taken on the prison encampment or whatever, or the people that were doing it. But then there was this backlash from citizens, from the actual citizens of Israel, a backlash where protests broke out around that particular encampment and prison, of protesters actually protesting against bringing charges on the prison guards and stuff for doing that. They were literally protesting to allow Palestinians to be raped and to be violently sexual violence being put on them. It is, and when that came out, it was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean, it opened up the eyes of even how corrupt some of the society of Israel is, because oftentimes, and I, even to today, I still blame the government and the leadership of Israel for all of the atrocities and evilness that they have placed on the Palestinians, along with everybody else in the region, and their imperialistic, just murderous ways. But there's been such strong propaganda in the country that there is a large amount of the citizenry themselves that have been brainwashed and coerced into accepting this type of ideology and this mindset. And so there's a lot of even the citizens of Israel, the population, that is also just mentally and idealistically dangerous. And it's appalling, really. It's disturbing to have a population literally accepting and protesting for people to be violently um vi- violent actions being taken on them within prison encampments and stuff. Even to the functionality, like sexual violence and rape and stuff. Like it is incredible. Like, and that's not to be blind that that sort of stuff even happens within our prison systems, because I mean it obviously does, but the idea though is still that that is bad, and officers and prison mates and stuff who are caught doing it would have like charges and stuff brought on them for doing so. Like it's societally, it still is like, yeah, that shit shouldn't happen. I mean, you know, it just shouldn't happen. That's wrong. That's horrible. No, we shouldn't be doing that. But for a society to, if that was to happen even here in the United States, that the society itself flips on a dime and is like, yeah, it's perfectly fine to do that. Yeah, go ahead, violently, you know, rape them or whatever, destroy their genitals, whatever. That's cool, no problem. For that to systematically at this point be accepted in the state of Israel, is mind blowing. So yeah, here we go. Let's break this down. The report documents widespread, repeated, and institutionally enabled sexual violence against Palestinian detainees, men, women, and children. Rape, vaginal and anal by soldiers, often serial and filmed. Rape with objects such as metal rods, wooden sticks, bottles, and fire extinguisher nozzles. Yes, there's a report of that, and we will get to that. Sexual assaulted by trained dogs, okay, used deliberately to inflict humiliation and physical injury. Genital mutilation, including cutting, crushing, and electrical shocks to genitals. Forced nudity during arrest, transport, interrogation, and detention. Public sexual torture performed in front of other detainees and soldiers to maximize humiliation. Sexualized threats, including threats to rape detainees' family members. Filming of assaults for blackmail and coercion. The report framing these actions as systematic, policy-driven, and consistent with genocidal intent, not isolated misconduct. Medical complicity and militarization of healthcare. Medical personnel are described as active enablers of torture rather than neutral caregivers. Certifying detainees as fit for interrogation despite visible injuries, concealing torture injuries in medical records, participating in or observing procedures without anesthetics, withholding medical treatment unless detainees cooperate, hiding doctors' identities and documentation to prevent accountability, treating severe injuries, ruptured rectums, amputations, testicle removal without reporting the cause. This is described as a structural collapse in medical ethics, amounting to aiding and abetting torture. The legal system. All right. The Israeli judicial system is portrayed as a shield for perpetrators, not a mechanism of accountability. Courts block investigations, downgrade charges, or dismiss cases entirely. Victims are prevented from testifying or participating in proceedings. Oversight committees, the Ilan Chief Committee, function as damage control, not genuine review. Laws like the Unlawful Combatants Law remove procedural protections and enable enforced disappearances. Lack of Red Cross access and secret detention sites create black holes where torture is invisible. Settlers and Politicians are allowed to visit and mock detainees, while lawyers and families are barred. The report argues that systematic failure triggers ICC jurisdiction because domestic remedies are unavailable. That it is how you have a whole entire system here, from the acceptance of the actions to the medical and healthcare system protecting, defending, and covering up instances to that's aiding in this torture. Then the legal system has also gotten involved in, again, blocking investigations, downgrading charges, dismissing them entirely. A whole system around laws that are allowing it to happen, and protection of the actions. As a whole, systematically, this has become Israel and what they and how they process Palestinians. I mean, they have deemed them human animals, lesser than human. And so these types of actions are accepted. They are accepted in society at large. And while I'm sure there is a certain amount and percentage of people that are against this and do not comply with it. I mean, we've seen protests and stuff against this stuff as well, and against what the administration, Israeli administration, is doing. It's since October 7th, but the whole system, and a large amount, if not the majority of even society, this is what they've become. This is how disturbing the zeitgeist of that society, how it has flipped and changed over the decades, how it perceives and sees the Palestinians. And to some degree, this even goes beyond Palestinians, but it is very, very much concentrated to them because they are the ones who systematically are under the realm and control of the Israeli society, from the West Bank to Gaza, and all the atrocities that they have been doing in both those locations. It is horrible. There's tens of thousands of Palestinians in prisons all throughout Israel, and this is the type of actions that are happening. It's just, at this point, everybody needs to straight up cut off Israel. The entire world, Israel needs to be isolated. And made a pariah in the world. I mean, this type of action, this type of acceptance cannot continue to be allowed. And it is very upsetting and disturbing that at large this isn't. I mean, I am starting to see people talk about this, but it's not big enough. It's not big enough. It needs to be widespread. The understanding of what Israel has become and what they are doing. And the fact that the United States is just openly and acceptingly assisting. And this is the type of things that we are assisting them in. Actively or inactively. Actively or passively. However you want to look at it. We are aiding and abetting this type of conduct. And if this type of information was more widespread and more people would see it and understand it and know it, that that's what's going on, there would not be such. I mean, Israel, we would be cutting them off immediately. If we have any kind of grain of morality or humanity to us, everybody would be cutting Israel off and made an example for what a society does not do and what is not accepted. And this is a society that wants to be wants to be a world power. That we absolutely cannot have and allow for a society like this to become a world power. Period. Nonstop. It is disgusting. It is revolting. People should be sickened and angry at what Israel is conducting right now in its society, what they are allowing, what they are accepting. It is horrible. It's further than just apartheid. It's further than even just a genocide. It's some of the worst things you can think of. And that's what's crazy about it. Before something like you would think, okay, the worst things you could possibly think could be happening within, like, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's probably very small, if at all, happening, right? Like, you just can't allow, you don't really want to allow your mind to go there, that this type of stuff could possibly be happening, and not only be happening, but just being accepted as happening. But then when it comes out and you find out, holy fuck, what are we doing? How is this being allowed? Let's get on to some testimonies. Number one, testimony of a 42-year-old woman from North Gaza, arrested during displacement, forced to strip at gunpoint. Soldiers photographed her naked, taken to a small room with cameras, raped 4 times over 2 days by masked soldiers, and while others filmed. Later, tortured with electric shocks while soldiers showed her the rape footage and threatened to publish it. Described her experience as another genocide behind walls. Wadi, 40, I guess that's how you say the name, 43-year-old, repeatedly raped by soldiers while tied naked to a metal bed. Soldiers filmed the assault and mocked him. Later raped by a dog, then raped again by multiple soldiers. Suffered several bleeding and long-term physical and psychological trauma. Hassan, detained at Saad Tamain, which is the location that most of this is happening at. It's happening across multiple locations, but this is the one that has the most reporting of it at. And this is the one, I think, even from the early reporting of the video that released long ago, what probably instigated this type of investigation to happen. Raped by a wooden stick by 4 female soldiers. Okay, it's not just males. The female soldiers are involved in this too. Assault lasted 2 minutes. Soldiers laughed, spat on him, and insulted him. The pain lasted for weeks. Hamada, 37-year-old, forced to sit on an artificial penis fixed to the ground while it penetrated him, screamed in pain, and was beaten. Murad, witness to multiple rapes, saw 6 soldiers rape a detainee for 40 minutes. Witnessed another detainee raped every 2 to 3 days. Victims returned bleeding, crying, and psychologically broken. Amir, 35, forced to strip. Dogs brought in. 1 dog urinated on him. Another raped him while soldiers beat him. AS, 35-year-old, forced to lie naked in a cage. A dog mounted and raped him. 2 soldiers held him down. 8, fire extinguisher rape case. Yes, I told you we get to it. Reported by attorney Khalid Mahani. Soldier inserted a fire extinguisher hose into a detainee's anus and discharged chemicals. Not just inserted it, but discharged it, causing catastrophic internal injuries. I mean, there is no excusing, there is no apologizing, there is no repentance for you religious people out there. There's no repentance for fucking shit like this. This is evil. I don't believe in hell, but I hope this motherfucker goes to hell. I hope all of these motherfuckers go to hell. Go to a place, a fictional place in my mind that I don't even believe in, but I hope they fucking find themselves there. I hope to some degree, somehow, maybe it's actually true, and they wind up there. Eternal torture. Because that's what they deserve. Genital mutilation cases. Multiple detainees had testicles removed after soldiers crushed and twisted them during interrogations. One detainee had his penis cut with a scalpel by 2 soldiers. Elderly woman, 70 years old, faced sexual insults and threats against her daughters. Interrogator accused her of bearing children illegitimately and threatened rape. So I guess they do have maybe a red line. Absolutely disgusting. Again, this society needs to be completely shut off. There needs to be economical sanctions. There needs to be, I don't even agree with I don't even agree with sanctions. But this society needs to be. If there was any society, if there was any state in the world that needs to actually be controlled and suppressed, at least until they realize what they are and what they are doing and change, it should be is Israel. They need to be like I said, cut off in every way, militarily, economically, everything. The government needs to be removed. And they are more than less will probably do that themselves. Like we're constantly acting like all these other areas and locations, countries, administrations, or whatever, presidents and prime ministers and regimes, and we have all these names. We're acting like all these people are just horrific and need to be overthrown because of all their afflictions of rights and humanitarian, concerns all over these other locations. And we need to overthrow them, remove them from power, save the people by going to war with them. But yet we are quite literally protecting and assisting a nation with reports like this And I haven't heard of this type of activity going on in these other countries. I'm not saying it's not, but we ain't heard of it. Yeah, they killed their own citizens. There's, restrictions around laws and rights and stuff like that, but like and if and this needs to be something that maybe spreads out. This is the type of stuff that legitimately should have a nation singled out and should have them actions in some way taken upon them. And if we were to find nations that have these type of actions happening, then sure, if but when we are saying and trying to argue just simply against a nation because they won't let us use their resources or something like that, like they won't give us their oil, they won't let us pillage their oil and take advantage of their resources, so let's go to war with them and take them over. This is the type of shit that in my mind makes a society a legitimate problem and a pariah for the rest of humanity. And this is the type of society that quite literally needs to be singled out and made an example of. That the greater rest of population of the world, the society, the civilization of the world, looks at you and says, fuck no, that is not acceptable. And any leaderships around the world that is helping and aiding in these type of activities, whether it's in this single state or any other for that matter, should be singled out and removed from power and told, no, this is not acceptable. And I'm looking at ours. Our administration needs to be removed. And anybody within our branches of government that is accepting of a nation and aiding in a nation like this that is doing this type of stuff needs to be removed. We can't allow it. We can't. It's ridiculous. These are the type of people that we need out of leadership positions all over the world. Enough is fucking enough. Like the video I did the other day with Lula and how he was talking about how the worst of worst have come into power, basically. And using religion and everything else in the name of doing all these different stuff. All these evil actions. Actions that the rest of us are didn't agree to and didn't accept and weren't even asked whether it was okay. Making decisions for the rest of society that the rest of society does not accept. But we're forced to just go along with. Fuck that. Enough is enough. We've had enough of it. I mean, with all of the history that we have and all the information we have at our fingertips, and we are still allowing this type of shit, this type of ideology, this type of mentality, this type of sociopathic narcissist like evil to happen throughout our society and throughout our states and government. In 2026, in the 21st century, it's too much. It's too far. Enough is enough. It all needs to be eradicated. It all needs to be removed. It all needs to be pariahed. You will not be accepted. And you're seeing that little by little in some states here and there that are actually putting in more progressive, more, protective administrations and leadership. This just happened in Hungary, where they removed Erdogan. I mean, not Erdogan. Orban. Removed him. Erdogan's, I think, Turkey. Removed Viktor Orban. And have went with a way more left-leaning, progressive type of leadership, or at least what I've seen so far, that already immediately came out and removed all the protections and defense that Victor had put in for Israel, cutting off their ability trade and everything else that they were exercises that they were working or funding, arms or anything that they may have been receiving from Hungary. He cut it off. This is the type of stuff we're talking about, and it's happening. It's happening, but the problem is it's not happening in the most important countries yet. The larger, more influential countries. But it's time. It's time. The United States, I'm looking at you. It's fucking time. We need to stop putting into power these maniacs like Trump. Even like Bush. Even Biden, like, when it comes to foreign policy, even Biden was pretty bad. He was hawkish. He protected Israel. We need to stop putting these type of people in power. It's time to put somebody in power who is more American protectionist, protecting the citizens, more humanitarian in the way they view the rest of society, geopolitically at large, the world. We've got to end the wars, the peace through strength bullshit. Needs to be stopped, done away with. These are actions and mentality of like yesteryear, when people didn't really know any better or didn't know of a different way or whatever. Didn't think that, or thought that that's the way it had to be because to some degree it had always kind of been that way. No. It's time for society to literally change. This type of shit can no longer continue to be accepted. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing, like, this stupid shit all over the world. That maniacs are the ones that are gaining power. The dumbest people. simple-minded people holding power all throughout the world. Enough is enough. There is a better way, and if you're acting like there's not a better way, then you're a part of the problem. I'm sorry. There is a better way. And if you're not speaking on that, if you're not talking about that, if you're not trying to influence that, then you are a part of the problem. So either change your views and join in or move out of the way. Anyway, I'm this is just revolt. This is I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. No more fucking kings. Not only just in America, but everywhere. No fucking kings. Greedy ass, power grabbing, imperialistic, colonialists. Fuck off. This no longer the way society needs to move. We need to progress and move on from that type of stuff. Compassion, acceptance. Unity as a society. In a way where we actually can progress and move the entire world forward in a productive way. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me know what you think. And again, I'm sorry if you are continuing to defend this country, if you're defending these types of actions. I don't know what to say about you. You've lost it. You've lost the plot. You are quite frankly a despicable human being. You need to reevaluate yourself. Reevaluate how you perceive society. Thank you very much again. Till next time, peace, clear talk. I'm out.